Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tara and you're watching Life Over Debt. Today we're going to go over September budget. We're closing out August and we're going to open up September. So let's get started. First, all right, could anybody guess that that quote? It was kind of a hard one, and it was I'll tell you the movie here in a second. It says, "We're going to die and I'm wearing my mother's underwear." That was from the movie Grease 2. Sorry if you can hear the cat in the background. He just decided he wanted to yell, "Pook, pook." And so, yeah, that was when, like, the pink ladies were in the car and they at the very end where they were chasing Michael on the motorcycle. All right, let's see what we got next, guys. He's very vocal tonight, apparently. Oh, this is... This one time at band camp. Leave your guesses below if you guys know it. That's great. Oh, I still say that just to be funny. I think it's funny. Okay, so I have closed out August. I have wrote down all of my numbers for my sinking funds, and our savings accounts, our high yield savings, our 401ks, and all of that. And I'm going to show you the numbers. But I'm going to show you the numbers starting in September instead of August because it's kind of depressing for me to show everybody the numbers that I had and that where I'm at now, because it was a lot better last month. But we had the Sturgis trip, and then we had paying for my mom's air conditioner and me taking the prop bills out and not counting them anymore because we technically didn't have them, and then also me paying all that money to my student loan debt. So we're just going to get into it. I have never done, these are just my no spin stickers. I've never done an actual budget type thing before, but I figured I'd try it this month just to see how I like it. I usually just put in what we get. So I usually don't do it this way with all my numbers lined up and everything, and they might work and they might not work, so it's fine. My husband does get paid 5 times this month. I do not. I only have a magic month like twice a year, just the way my weeks fall, so it kind of sucks. But yeah, I don't think my next one's till like December. So, and for my husband's check, I always just count on about $500 coming from his check for me to be able to stuff into our sinking funds, savings challenges, cash wallet, and all of that. So, but this week, if you watch my last video, he did work a lot of overtime last week. He was at 67 hours, and he may be more than that already this week. He went back to work till midnight last night and then went back in at 6 o'clock this morning. So we'll see. We might have another good check next month, or next week. So that's good. So I estimated for him to get five $500 checks. He's already gotten 1,000. Now, that wasn't his whole check. I do hold a little bit of money each check to put into our actual savings account that's attached to our checking account. The reason I do that is because we have 3 withdrawals a month between the 2 checking or savings accounts that we have. There's 2. My check goes into one, his check goes into another. The only reason we have it that way is because I worked at a bank, and to be able to have my checks direct deposited, I had to have a bank account with that bank, and that's not who we banked with at the time, but we've just kept it that way. Our money together. We put our money together, but that's just the way it works. So out of the account, which is our bill account, that savings account is attached to, I have 2 withdrawals a month, one on the 1st and one on the 15th of $100 to go to our high yield savings account. Now, on the account that my check goes to, I have 1, just because the other account had more to begin with. I might change those up, I tend to, it looks like I put more in my savings just because my checks are bigger because they're 2 weeks instead of one. But I'll figure it out along the way. So that extra payment on the 15th, I just started doing like 2 months ago. I just wanted to try to get as much money as possible, but also leaving a little bit in that savings account just in case we needed it right away. So we're budgeting $4,500. We already know that's wrong because he's already got $1,000 for one check, but I always budget $1,000 out of my check. Now, onto our bills. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more. Okay, for all of our vehicles a month, it is $1,812.99. We do not, I don't know how to say this, we do not budget for this because the money automatically comes out of this before he even sees it to go into the account to pay these. So we're not budgeting for those because it's taken care of. Now we do have 2 loans. We have a mortgage loan and then we have a personal loan. The personal loan was to get us out of trouble that we had gotten into with credit cards and a couple of bills. We got that February 2022. It saved us like $500 a month to do it. The interest rate is so much better than the credit cards that I had. So we have $1,057.10. Now our household bills are $685.46. These 2 amounts right here, the $1057.10 and the $685.46, is what I budget for every month. Another thing I will say, and I might get a lot of, backlash about this, none to very little of my husband's checks ever go to budgeting for these. The reason that is because we have managed to get ourselves a month ahead. And the reason we did that is because my husband got a small bonus last year and we decided to go ahead and get 1 month ahead on our bills so that we wouldn't have to stress every week about what bill was coming out. And also, so we keep a buffer in our account for those bills. But also my husband is a 22.5-year retired disabled veteran. He does get a disability payment from the VA every month because of his disabilities. And just please remember that not all disabilities are physical. Yes, he still does work. He works very, very hard, but he does live with a lot of conditions every single day of his life. But he gets that, but he also, before he moved here, when he lived back down in Tennessee, he worked for a job and he was able to, a couple years ago, take an early retirement. Get his retirement early, I should say. It's not very big, it's small, but the reason it's small is because he took it early, first of all, and secondly, not only does he get it for the continuation of his life, but I get it for the continuation of my life. So with that being said, all this is taken care of already. So the money that we make from our paychecks pretty much goes to our budgeted items. And trust me, we worked very, very hard to get this way. Very hard. We have scrimped and saved and gone without for many, many, many years just to get to where we are now. It wasn't always this way. It was always paycheck to paycheck for most of our marriage because we did raise 4 kids and those kids were very expensive. So everything that we had went to them. And so we sacrificed, and that's what you do. That's what parents do. So we sacrificed, and now we are starting to little bit reap the benefits of all those sacrifices that we made. Now, I have budgeted for this month $500 for Jim's spending money. He gets $100 a week. This week, if you watch my last video, since he did make a lot of extra money, he basically doubled what was supposed to be brought in. I gave him extra money because we are going to camping this weekend, and we're also going to a concert, and he uses that money to buy, drinks and food and stuff. So I did that. I did budget out $250 for dine out. I do need to write these numbers in. I budgeted $200 for me for personal money, and I have a Lucy literally right there. Hi, her nose. And then for his dues, I budgeted $100 because there's 5 weeks. Tips, $25. I budgeted to put $2,500 in sinking funds and $925 into savings challenges. We'll see if that changes. I don't know. I did already write down, hey, leave the kitty alone. Write down that I did put $848 in sinking funds this week. So let's take a look at our month. Hey, leave the kitty alone, you bully. She's such a bully. Okay. All right, so here's my month. I don't know if you can actually see. Oh, let's move that candle all the way. Okay, so I'll zoom in just a little bit. My monthly spread. Just so you know, this is gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Over here, I write down all my bills I have. This is all the bills that we have for the month. It's not a lot. It used to be a whole lot more. It used to come all the way down here. But we have, like I said, worked very hard to get to where we are. So I stated that we have 3 credit cards. I have a Sam's Club card, which all of our purchases go on. I get a text message every time a purchase goes through, and I'm able to write those down in my planner, and then I'm able to unstuff at the end of the week those amounts to pay my card back. I don't keep a balance on my card. I have an Amazon Prime card that is strictly for Amazon purchases, and you get like cashback points and stuff back on that. So it's like free money they're giving you to use the card that you were going to use anyways. Same with the Sam's card. We tend to get usually $60 to $70 Sam's cash every month, which helps us with our Sam's purchases. And then I have a card through our bill account bank. This pays the little bills. There are bills. Stitchy. There. You're just getting all kinds of animals today. This pays like our Hulu, our internet, our sewer. We don't pay water. We are on a well, but we do pay sewer. And I think that's about, and my Thirsty Beaver membership. It used to pay our phone bill, but our phone has gone to bank account only, just like our gas and our electric. So this money, the $230 that's on here was for last month's bills, and I've actually already made this payment. I always make my month ahead, the day before the month starts. So I've already paid this bill, and there's that. And then we have our mortgage and our personal loan. Our phone, it did go down a little bit. It went to $197.92 just because I got rid of a Peacock membership. Our electric bill, I believe, is going up next month, which is fine. I think it's going up to like $198, but it's been hot. So our sewer, $57.57. Our gas bill is $82. Can you see this? I don't know if you can see that. Oh, here we go. Our internet is $79.99, and my Hulu is $82.99. We do have live TV with that. My husband, that's one of his little guilty pleasures. He loves to watch the news. I don't. I watch YouTube all day long. So yes, and then here's my monthly spread, and once these bills get paid off, I just check them off. I do know. What I'll do in the end of the month, I'll go, I don't even have it with me, but I have a book. It's like a ledger book, kind of like the old timey, checking account registers. But at the end of the month, the previous month, so the other day for September, I went through and I wrote in the ledger every single bill that's coming out. I wrote the credit card, I wrote the mortgage, I wrote the personal loan, the gas and electric, and the phone. I wrote all those down, and I deduct it because that money's gone. I know that money's gone. It's not in there. It might still be in there until they actually take it, but it's gone. It's gone to me. And then the first of the month, I get that buffer back up to where it needs to be. All right, so we're going to get in some numbers here. I'll show you my sinking funds totals first. Maybe if I can get there. Hold on. Wrong page. Okay. So my sinking funds total is a little sad this month. I will let you know this number was almost to $15,000 at the end of last month, or the end of July. So it's a little sad that it is where it is, but you know what? It's still fine. I'm still doing good. So I'm showing you the beginning, what we're starting our month with our sinking funds. And like I said, this went down a lot just because of that AC and me taking that prop money out that wasn't there yet. And then also it went down because I took a huge chunk out of our debt envelope to pay on that student loan. And I took $1,029 out of my savings challenges to pay on that student loan. So we went down a lot last month, but you know what? It just makes me excited to build it back up for next month. So, all right, so we're going to get in some real numbers, and just, please just be kind. And, I understand that some people don't think these numbers are very good, but some people may think they're good. Everybody's budget's different. So just, please be kind. Now I have broken this down to his and her savings. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. His and her savings. So this is the savings account that's attached to the bank that my check goes into. So right now we have a balance of $1,350.79. I am not taking that money out except for the withdrawal that comes out automatically to go to my savings, or my high yield savings account. And just in case, because if you know a high yield savings, it takes a couple days to get it. If we need something in a pinch, we have that money there. And then the account that his money goes to is $1,873.83. Same thing goes. If we had an emergency on a weekend night, if we needed to get money out, we could. Now for our high yield savings, we are at a balance starting in September of $6,647.70. I will let you know, I did not start this account until the end of December last year. So any money that we have gotten, besides the money that I put in automatically, goes into our high yield savings. Our tax check went in there. I've made like $150, I think, this year in interest alone, just from that. Just from that. Savings challenges, we're only starting out with 75 because I emptied all of them, and this is for Christmas. So I'm still counting that I have this in there. Our sinking funds, we're starting out at $94.58. My 401k, I will let you know, I didn't start my job until March of this year. And I had to wait like the days, your probation limit. So mine is very low. So mine is $1,536.28, but it did go up like $400 this month. So that's great. Now my husband's, this is just his 401k at this job. He didn't start his job until, it's been 3 years, I think. And then they didn't have 401k, I don't think, when they first started, but they got bought out, and then they did. So he transferred a 401k from his previous job to this. I will let you say, I think this is his only one, because the job that he was with forever, and they did a huge layoff, we needed that money when it happened, and that was like 7 years ago. So we did cash that out. If I had known then what I know now, yes, we would have done things differently. But right now, this is where we're sitting at. My husband also will get a retirement from the military, 22 and a half years, like I said. So right now, basically our assets, we're sitting at $47,679.49. That's where we're at. It was a lot higher. It's very sad, but it'll be okay. I mean, these continue to grow every month. Even, because I put about, not quite, sometimes 10% of our take-home pay into our savings account when we get paid. So, it's still growing even though there's money being taken out. All right, so we're going to go down to our debt here. All right. So for our debt starting out, our mortgage is down to $69,014.54. That's the funny thing about the mortgage is that when I first started doing these videos, I would see people stuffing like, $1,200 and $1,500 a month, and I'm like, man, that's amazing. I wish I could stuff that much. Here I am only doing $500. But then I started looking and I'm like, well, they're stuffing, the reason they have that much is they're stuffing like their utilities and their bills and their mortgage and everything like that. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not doing that. My money stays in the bank, and that's fine if they want to do that. But I just prefer to leave it in there so I don't have to bother with it. And then I started looking at people's mortgage payments, and I'm like, wow, our son and daughter-in-law, they pay $1,800 a month in rent. And I'm like, that's over 3 times my mortgage payment. So we're very blessed that we have a low mortgage payment, because where we live, it's not a huge city or anything. It's not like a small town or anything either. But it's starting, of course, with the housing market. The houses are getting a little bit more expensive and everything, but usually around this area, if it, back in the day, if you spent $150,000 on a new house, it was super nice, Now you can't do that without spending at least $250,000, $300,000 on a house. Luckily, we didn't have to. We did buy the house that my husband grew up in. His father actually built this house, but we bought it for fair market price, and we have refinanced it a couple times. But, we're only at a 4% interest rate, so, we're doing good. Our personal loan, we are almost under $18,000 on this one. We have $18,114.74. Next payment, we will be under that $18,000 threshold. And I think once I pay another pretty big student loan, I'm going to kind of halt on making those huge extra payments to that and start putting it towards this, because this is going to be where my money shows when I get this paid off. That's an extra $500 a month, that I could put somewhere else. My car, we have a balance right now of $21,733.23. I don't even know if it's worth that much anymore since it's been wrecked. It's kind of sad. Last month it was worth like $27,000. I don't know what it'll be this month, but we're really good. We only have a couple more months before this is under 20 grand, because I have a 2.9% interest. And out of my $486 payment, like $430 goes to the principal. So very fortunate for that. My husband's truck is the same thing, $25,687.55. We have a 3.5% interest rate on that one. We've gotten very lucky with our interest rates, and that helps with, from all the years of building up credit and everything, because when my husband and I first got together, we both had horrible credit. Horrible. He had just filed for bankruptcy. My ex-husband, our house that we built was still in my name, and he was supposed to refinance it, and he didn't for 5 years. And so those times that he went 30 days behind, that went on my credit, even though the judge was like, oh, it can't be against your credit. That's not what the credit bureau thinks, So I had to, once that finally got out of my name, I, worked on getting my, credit score up, after I had gotten his up from that. And so we're able to get, pretty good interest rates, because like I said, we've worked very, very hard. My husband is the hardest worker that I know, and I am all about, finding money and making money and saving it now, and maybe not so much before, but now I am. His bike is at $24,389.16. We are on the downhill slope for that one too. A lot of that payment is going to the principal. Our camper, this is new this month. Our first payment, I think, was in June, I believe. And it's at $19,503.67. The loan, what was the loan for it? I don't remember. I think it was like $21,000. I can't remember. That's a little bit of higher interest rate because, well, interest rates are zooming up. And also, excuse me, when we got this, we was kind of at our max at our credit union. So, as you can see with these 4 loans here, that's almost 100 grand in loans, right there. So we were almost at our max. So we got a little bit higher of our interest rate, but it's fine. 6.75 is still good. Student loans. I had wrote this in, and I usually don't use marker, but I did this time, and I didn't account for the next payment that I made. So our student loan now is officially under $12,000. It was at $14,006.31. It's at $11,977.31 after the payment I made the other day. Now, take note, there is still another $6,200 owed on it because that is our daughter's loan and it is included in his loan, but we're not including it in our payoff because we're not paying it. She got the loan knowing very well that she would have to pay it off, and she plans to. So I'm going to zoom you back out a little bit, and I'll go right now. We are sitting at, like I said, it's kind of sloppy, sorry, $190,420.20 in debt. My goal is to get this paid off by the time I'm 50. I am 46 right now. I think we can make it. Last month we paid off over $4,000 in debt. And even without this student loan, these payments, our debt was going down $2,000 a month. Every month, and I figured it up, and it's like 8.5 years if we just kept making the minimum payments on these loans to get this paid off. But by the time I'm 50, because I don't know if I've told you this, but my husband is older than me. He is 60, so that will be by the time he's 64 and he'll be ready to retire. I would like for us to be debt free by the time he retires and have him have a happy retirement. You know, and maybe just build a little small house out in the country. Who knows? That's my numbers. If you guys have any questions about how I do anything, I was going to make a separate video, but I was like, well, let's just put it in here. But I know there's things that I've missed saying, and it might be confusing. But that's how it's taken me a year to figure out the process to make it work for us. We do not zero-based budget. That method does not work for us. I know it works for other people. So we do not zero-based budget because we like having this little bit of extra money in our savings account. And if you zero-based budget, you wouldn't have that. But we like having it just in case of emergency. If a friend got in an accident, or God forbid, went to jail. We'd have bail money or a rental car money. You know, that's the kind of friends we are. But yeah, so I hope that made sense to everybody. I hope that that you can appreciate that I did break a wall to be able to show you my real numbers, because it's hard. The internet can be so hard, but I've noticed in this community it's not that way. So hopefully that kind of helps everybody see, what we're doing. My goal is to have our high yield savings up almost doubled, hopefully by the end of next year. I would like to have 6 months worth of expenses in that, just in case. My husband's going to have to take off work at the end of October. He has to be off about 6 weeks because he has to have a knee replaced. So, just kind of saving up for our future. And, right now our future's looking pretty bright, even though we do have all of this down here. But, we do have this up here, which we never had before. And that's just in pretty much the last year. We've been able to get that number up to 47,000. So that's really cool. So anyways, thank you guys. Have a good one. Sorry the video was so long. I'll see you next video for savings challenge stuffing. Bye.